I just love when I get to combine a variety of different media. In this video, I will show you how I combined photography, gel print monotypes with image transfers, and gold leafing. Technically, I use copper, so I guess it's copper leafing, but I am going to show you how I put them all together in this print. I will take you through step by step the entire process of the printmaking. First thing, I like to repurpose any paints that I have left over. I had some acrylic paint on a palette and I just wiped on my gel plate. This is a Jelly Arts plate. It's 16 by 20 inches and I was working on another project and just had leftover paint, and I hate wasting paint. I would roll this out and then use it as a background to an image transfer. It's important to get this, if you want it to work, really, really thin. And I wanted this to work fast. So while I rolled it all out, but ensuring that it's still wet, I used my gel plate alignment tool, set up a piece of Bristol on it, knocked over my tripod, tried to get the paint off my fingers, and then I grabbed a piece of Bristol. Bristol is a very smooth, durable paper that works really well for this particular process. I line up the edge of my plate on the corner of the alignment tool and I press down. And I want to let this fully dry. Since it's a thin layer, I probably can pull it quite quickly. The thinner the layer, the faster you can pull up the paper. But I'm still want to let it dry for a little bit and make sure it's fully attached on all sides. I am pressing pretty hard here. I hope you can see that. I am just really making sure that every last bit of the gel plate and the paper are in contact. I can take a little sneak peek and see if it works. Now, if you're interested in any of my supplies, you can check out my Amazon storefront, which is linked in the description below. Once I am sure it is completely dry, I pull it off of the gel plate. So not a lot of it transfer, but that's okay, whatever. I was just using extra paint. Now is time for the image transfer. And I'm going to pause here and show you the original photo and how I edited it to get the image transfer to work. The photo I'm using is from a photo shoot I did on an early morning, hot Florida summer day, where I was walking around this truck stop that is very interesting and photographic in an Americana sort of way. And I was looking specifically for photos that I could use for gel plate image transfers and to also demonstrate how to edit photos. So I stopped in front of this Waffle House and I edited the photo that I took there in a similar way that I edited this Taco Bell and tried to bring out the color and the symmetry and the initial beauty of this space, but also then transform it so it could work for gel plate monotypes. To do this, you have to switch it into black and white, and you need to adjust the levels so it is really high contrast, and play around with the space that's there to make sure it is a really strong photo to begin with. This step is incredibly important because it needs to be a good quality photo in order to proceed. Similar to the Waffle House photo, I edited this the same way. I turned it into grayscale and then bitmap, and then from bitmap that changes it into halftone. So it created all those tiny little dots in the photography, which really helps with the laser print image transfer process. And then I switch it back into CMYK, which allows it to print in a rich black and white with more toner. Now, you don't need Photoshop to do this. There are lots of apps that work like this, but this is the one I have and this is what I use. After that, I print it out really big. So in this case, I printed it out on 2 different sheets of A3 paper from my laser printer. If you like things to be seamless and perfect, then this is not the best method for you. I don't care if there's going to be line in the middle of the print. I can then just paint over it or adjust. I will be flexible. So the coat of acrylic paint that I put on my gel plate needs to be relatively thin. Getting this balance is so crucial to having your print turn out. And I have my print, I turn it over. It's on, I think, 130 gram A3 paper with just a tiny bit of masking tape in the back. I work hard to center it, and then I am gently, oh, so gently rolling over it with the brayer. I take a little peek to see if that's too much, and it's looking all right, but I'm a little concerned that I pressed too hard, so I'm going to my hand, and then I peek and hold my breath as I pull it back and realize, oh, it's working. And personally, I like these rough edges. This is something that it works well with my aesthetic, with the whole process that I'm doing. I like those sort of bleeded edges that remind me of when I used to develop photos in a dark room and I used to mess around with the borders, or like a Polaroid image transfer from back in the day. So I like to lean into that, and I'm okay with that. So I am not pressing extra around the borders, and I lift it off, and voila, it transferred. Now, I'm always asked about drying time. This is when you let it dry. You need to let the acrylic paint dry before you do anything else. I'm coating a little bit of gel medium on top of it before I paint, and that helps the paint stop pooling and lay a little flatter. I'm going in with acrylic paint, and I want to do the colors that are going to pop the most in this print first. So I'm starting with the iconic Waffle House bright cadmium yellow. Now, just to let you in on a little secret, this particular Waffle House is the Waffle House that I worked at full time while I was in high school. And let me tell you, it was a learning experience in the middle of a truck stop. So I have some feelings about this place. I was a little disappointed with the image transfer that it didn't get the silhouettes of the palm trees in the reflections of the window. But you know what? That was pushing it. And maybe if I focused on that in the editing, I can do another one where that comes through. But I decided I was not going to lean into that for this particular one. So traditionally, when you do gold leaf, you start by using sizing and you apply that to the surface. But with a gel plate, you don't really need to. However, if you're putting it on top of acrylic paint, it doesn't stick that well. I am using this crumbled, like they sell it as some sort of distressed, like really cool looking coppery gel leaf. However, in reality, it's probably just their scraps from the floor. But I am using it for a little bit of a distressed look. I thought it would be an interesting contrast to the decor of the Waffle House and the whole vibe, to have a little bit of gold leaf flecks in there. I am going in with some gel medium to kind of tamp it down and position it in place so it doesn't fall off. And I am leaning into some of the little extra sparkly bits falling around the rest of the plate. I am mixing my colors. Even that bright cadmium yellow of the Waffle House sign wasn't pure cadmium. You could see bits of yellow ochre and Naples yellow mixed in. I think it's very important to mix your colors to kind of embrace the possibilities for it. And then I added some gel medium on top of it. And while that dries, I am using this as the transfer layer, so I am coating the entire thing. The idea is that I would like that first coat of paint that I put on the Bristol to really shine through all of the colors I used. Now, I have to let you in on a little secret. I forgot to record part of this, and in the beginning when I did that first layer with the extra paint, well, that didn't come out as good as I wanted it to. So I just redid it with some more paint and got a thicker layer, and this is what I came up with. So it has a little bit more coverage, and all of that will peek through all the empty areas that I did not paint on the gel plate. So I line it up and try to get it lined up as best as I can, and even with my alignment tool, I'm not so great at that. So it's also tricky because I'm working very large, and the plate is in inches and all my paper is in centimeters. So I have some adjustments to do, and it never quite comes out exactly how I want it to. While that dries, check out some of my other gel print monotypes. These are all extra large ones, by the way. I enjoy doing this as well as other painting and all sorts of work. So I flipped it over, so this is the image with the gel plate on top of it. I'm just making sure that it's fully attached. I think sometimes with the gel medium, I feel like it needs a little extra attachment. And when it dries, sometimes it gets a little flexible. So it wants to stick to the gel plate, but if I can get it maneuvered just right, it'll come off of the paper. This I want to show you in real time and no cuts. I want to show you me pulling off a gel plate monotype, because sometimes I don't think people realize, one, it is physical. That thing is attached to the gel plate, and I have to give it a pretty good pull, and I don't want to tear the paper or damage the gel plate. Sometimes it sticks and I have to adjust, and this is about as fast as I can pull it off. Anytime it sticks, I either press it down or I try to go at it from a different angle. A lot of times this works. A lot of times I just have to go from a different angle and it will no longer tear because it is, I guess, sort of elasticy, especially with the gel medium. So I loosen up the edges. Once I get the edges, it usually comes off a little bit easier. I'm trying not to crease the border of the Bristol as I do this, and I hold down the gel plate. Now you can also flip it over and roll the gel plate off of the monotype, and depending on how much it's stuck, it can change the way that I pull it off of the gel plate. So at this point, you can see that some of the copper leafing stuck to the gel plate. This is normal. It never fully transfers, at least for me. And I can see that part that was stuck before is no longer stuck, so I'm really happy about that. And at this point, I look at it and I like the copper leaf, but I want more because sometimes shinier is better. So I am going to go in with some gold leaf sizing. Mine is from an art supply store in Italy, and it's called Missone there, and Missone d'Acqua. It's a water-based gold sizing fluid, and I just want to put it in the areas that I need perfectly, and then I let it set up. So I don't do anything. I'm going painting other parts of the painting, and you just want to let that dry until it's tacky. Once that's fully dry, then I can go in with more of the copper leaf. This part is pretty straightforward. I try to remove some of the copper leaf from the little container. I use a clean, very soft brush to tamp down the copper leaf, and then I burnish it off so it only stays in the area that I applied the sizing to. That yellow thing in the upper left-hand corners, that's my Pringles. It is after school on a Wednesday, and I had some Pringles. So I have brushed off all of the excess copper leaf. It's kind of sitting in the parking lot a little bit there, but I think after just a few minor touches, I am done with this piece, and I can call my sort of bougie Waffle House done. And if you'd like more information on this process, just let me know. I'm also possibly running an online workshop course coming up. It's in talks. We will see what happens. So subscribe if you want to know more about that, because I'm always asked. And have a great day and happy printing.